Welcome everybody to the 2011 Peanut Tour. This Georgia Peanut Tour is celebrating 25 years of success in showcasing Georgia's peanuts. Georgia's home to some of the finest peanut farmers in the world and to some of the finest peanuts in the world. Because here in Georgia we're fortunate to have the perfect climate, adequate rainfall usually, and soil conditions that are just right for growing peanuts. And for the past 25 years, this Georgia Peanut Tour showcases a cross-section of field conditions, harvest clinics, product research, peanut handling and grading, equipment manufacturing, and most important, on-farm demonstrations. Quality is the watchword with Georgia peanut growers, ever striving to make the best peanuts in the world even better.
I have to give credit to Dr. Gene Sullivan, Extension Peanut Agronomist, my counterpart at North Carolina State University, for actually triggering the idea of the Georgia Peanut Tour. And the reason I say that is back in the early spring of 1987, a large group of the peanut industry was at a meeting out in Arizona. And in one of the sessions, Dr. Sullivan was up giving a talk, and he was just going on and on and on about how great North Carolina peanuts were. Well, after that session ended, Dr. Alex Casinas, a plant pathologist with the University of Georgia, and Emory Murphy with the Georgia Peanut Commission, and I, the three of us were standing in the hall, and Emory made some comment, "I wish we had equal time to talk about the quality of Georgia peanuts." He had the entire audience listening to him talk about North Carolina peanuts. Well, Dr. Casinas had been involved in the Georgia Tobacco Tour. And he said, well, why don't we do a peanut tour like we do a tobacco tour? Now, the Georgia Tobacco Tour for years had focused on the producers, going around looking at the tobacco research. But as Dr. Casinas, Emory Murphy, and I stood around in the hallway of that hotel in Tucson, Arizona, we came up with the idea, let's focus on inviting those that buy the peanuts, the processors. Let's get them into Georgia to see, because they're the ones that are buying it. So the first tour that was in 1987, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of 1987, our intended audience was not producers, not county agents, but was manufacturers. And of course, as the years progressed, it has grown to include individuals from all segments of the peanut industry, from the producers up through the manufacturers and end users and governmental officials and so forth. But again, really our total focus is that end user before it is made into a product.
The Georgia Peanut Tour was conducted this year in Plains and Sylvester and also in Smithville. Emory Murphy's with the Georgia Peanut Commission. The purpose of the tour, I guess, is to give those who participated a look at the industry right now.
That's right. We originally offered this to the manufacturers because we wanted to show them the industry just prior to harvest and with the uncertainty we had in the crop last year. And we also wanted to show them the cutting edge of research, so to speak, on what we have in quality. Quality is the byword in the peanut industry that we're seeing. It's the theme throughout the industry that we do have the best quality peanuts in the world is right here in Georgia. And so we invited the manufacturers. We had other interest was shown within the industry, so we opened it up to all segments of the industry. The researchers, the handlers, the shellers, the brokers, and growers are here participating on this tour. We're going to have an adequate crop, but some of the unofficial reports are not sure. It's going to be 3,200 pounds per acre statewide.
Mm-hmm. One of the things they were looking at here was the peanut profile chart. People on this tour come from all walks of life. Those who are affiliated with the peanut industry in some shape, form, or fashion, some national as well as international buyers also in this group, but generally people who don't know that much about peanuts. So they were interested in how the farmer determines just the optimum time to dig peanuts. And this is one way to do it with the peanut profile chart. Where do you think we're going with all this technology?
Well, I think that what we're doing is trying to keep everybody in a profitable zone. Technology, I think, hopefully will continue to improve every year, but with our ability to look at new technology every year at this location and transfer it, I think that we're trying to keep people profitable, and that's the main business. Of course, the bottom line is to keep peanuts in the hands of the consumer, and if we can keep the price of peanuts down to a reasonable price, then consumers can have more peanuts.
Yeah, and you've done your job, haven't
We're
you?
trying to. We sure are trying.
Participants on the Georgia Peanut Tour this year came out to see this tractor. Not just any old tractor. This is a special tractor utilizing satellite guidance signals to an onboard computer to give it precision control when laying off the rows and when planting peanuts, and even more important, at harvest time. Precision control.
Started with auto steer last spring with one tractor in hopes to, with these twin row peanuts, it's hard to see with the canopy that they have to ply out the peanuts sometimes. You can't really stay on the row. With this auto steer system, we lay off our rows with the auto steer and we come back and ply them up with auto steer. It takes 5 satellite signals coming in to make the auto steer work. You have cloudy conditions sometimes gives you problems. It saves money on chemical costs because you have no overlapping with your harrows and everything stays on exactly the right pattern. Makes the driver lazy. Me and Willie James drives it most of the time, and when they go out we complain because it has spoiled us tremendously. So you have a lot of time to kill. Of course you have to keep an eye on everything. It has a little indicator on there where when he's driving he's got his hands on the steering wheel. And every once in a while, if you lose signal or something, the hands will come off, and we say Trimmy's done got tired, and we got to drive.
One of the most popular stops on the tour this year was in Macon County at the Chase Farm. Here, the participants on the tour got a look at something perhaps many of them had never seen before, and that was the grower digging peanuts right out of the ground.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to our farm. The first and most important thing I need to do is introduce our family to you. First, let me introduce my father, Glenn Lee Chase. He's been growing peanuts a long time, and along with my grandfather, they started our farm in '52, and his wife Ellen, my mother.
Glad to have you all here.
And we're always happy to have folks here. And right now we farm about 1,600 acres, 500 acres of peanuts, about 1,000 of corn, and 60 acres of sweet corn. We are a family farming corporation. We do everything together. My father and myself do all of our digging. My mother and myself do all of our picking. In fact, we'll walk down here and I'll show you her combine. We run 2 Amada self-propelled pickers, and Daddy kind of keeps things going while we're out picking. At the present time, doing an irrigation scheduling program. I've been looking into it, thinking about it, and basically, you know, we just kind of look and see how the weather is supposed to be, whether there's a chance of rain, and if there's not much chance of rain, we irrigate. We irrigated these peanuts at the beginning of the week. At this point in the season, they don't require as much moisture, but they sure do need it as hot and dry as it continues to be. This is later on in the season, so we're putting about 1 inch once a week. It's all now.